here's what I'm trying to understand. Why is your record so bad?
Well, I don't view it that way, Senator. When I look at the quality of my decision-making, the feedback that I get from parties,
Of course parties are not going to criticize you. They want you to rule in their favor.
I understand, Senator Kennedy.
I mean, that's just the way it works. Help me understand why you have such an abysmal record in moving cases. I mean, it costs a lot of money to litigate, and people are paying lawyers, and time is money. And of all the district court judges, and you're in the Seventh Circuit, you're the worst in terms of moving cases. Why do you think you deserve to be promoted over all of those others?
At today's Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, Senator John Kennedy engaged in a rigorous exchange with Nancy Maldonado, nominee for United States Circuit Judge for the Seventh Circuit. Senator Kennedy's probing highlighted concerns over Maldonado's case backlog, emphasizing her role as perhaps the least productive member of her district court. Maldonado, in response, underscored her focus on decision quality over quantity, asserting her commitment to sound judgment amidst the challenges faced by new judges, especially during the COVID years. Despite Senator Kennedy's pointed inquiries regarding her ranking among peers, Maldonado remained steadfast in her dedication to judicial integrity and collegiality. Her nomination reflects a career marked by resilience and a principled approach to the judiciary's demands, affirming her suitability for the esteemed role.
You are probably the least productive member of your district court, isn't that right?
Well, I have not considered myself in those terms, Senator.
Well, let me explain what I mean. You have 125 motions pending that you've declined to decide.
Let
me finish. That's more than any other district judge in the entire Seventh Circuit. In fact, you rank 7th highest nationally, do you not?
I am not familiar with those statistics, Senator Kennedy.
You haven't looked?
I did look in preparation for this hearing, but I didn't compare myself to others.
You haven't seen that you ranked the 7th, the worst in the country in terms of making decisions?
You are the first to tell me this. And I think for me, I stress the quality of my decision making. And as I explained, I came on, I was the first district judge to come on during this administration.
Yeah, but so were all the others. I mean, there have been 68 district judges confirmed in the 117th Congress. In terms of motions pending for more than 6 months, you rank number 3. You all came on at the same time. You all had the same problems with COVID. You're the 3rd worst. You really think of all the other district judges in the 7th Circuit, you're the one that ought to be promoted based on this record?
Senator, this is something that I've discussed with my fellow judges. Many of us new judges from...
I thought you said you'd never looked at these statistics.
I haven't, these particular statistics I am not familiar with. But in terms of new judges, both from the current administration and the former administration, we are quite a collegial bunch, and oftentimes talk about the pressures of a new judge and the way reassignments work in our district, which is that you get, for example, 300 cases.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. I'm familiar with the procedure in federal court. Here's what I'm trying to understand. Why is your record so bad?
Senator Kennedy's scrutiny of Nancy Maldonado's record continued as he delved into the intricacies of her legal career, probing the reasons behind what he described as an abysmal record in moving cases. However, citing concerns about the cost and time implications for litigants. Despite Kennedy's assertions about her standing as the least effective in case management among her peers, Maldonado maintained her stance, emphasizing the importance of quality decision-making and the feedback she receives from involved parties. Not to mention the fact that she is not sure about the numbers about her performance that Kennedy refers to. Kennedy's probing also extended to Maldonado's past work, referencing a pro bono case where she argued for the banning of assault weapons. Maldonado clarified her role in the case, highlighting her dedication to legal matters beyond her official duties. Kennedy's interrogation highlighted the challenges Maldonado faced in defending her record, while emphasizing her broader legal expertise and commitment to public service.
Well, I don't view it that way, Senator. When I look at the quality of my decision-making, the feedback that I get from parties,
Of course, parties are not going to criticize you. They want you to rule in their favor.
I understand, Senator Kennedy.
I mean, that's just the way it works. Help me understand why you have such an abysmal record in moving cases. I mean, it costs a lot of money to litigate, and people are paying lawyers, and time is money. And of all the district court judges, in the Seventh Circuit, you're the worst in terms of moving cases. Why do you think you deserve to be promoted over all of those others?
So, Senator, again, I'm not familiar with the statistics, but I stand by my record and that I give parties what they need. I think, I am regularly in my courtroom. I am regularly issuing decisions. I just came on at a very difficult time where there was a backlog in the courts.
So did everybody else. Let me ask you, when you were a partner in your law firm, you volunteered to write a brief on behalf of the Brady Center. You wrote the brief, and this is what you said. You volunteered for this. You weren't being paid. Is that right?
This was a pro bono case that one of my partners brought in, yes.
You said, quote, assault weapons may be banned because they're extraordinarily dangerous and are not appropriate for legitimate self-defense purposes, close quote. Tell me what you meant by assault weapons.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. Just to clarify there, I was local counsel. Our Supreme...
Yeah, but you wrote the brief. Tell me what you meant by assault.
Despite intense questioning from Senator Kennedy, Nancy Maldonado maintained her composure and integrity throughout the hearing. When pressed about her past work regarding assault weapons, Maldonado clarified her role as local counsel and reiterated her lack of expertise in gun laws. Despite signing the brief, she emphasized that she did not personally draft it and therefore could not recall specific details. Kennedy's line of questioning aimed to challenge Maldonado's suitability for promotion, particularly regarding her judgment in legal matters. Kennedy could not get his head around the fact that Maldonado signed the brief to ban assault weapons, but did not for a fact know what she was banning in the first place. Despite this, Maldonado remained steadfast, affirming her commitment to her record and her decisions. Senator Kennedy's last words to her were to know if she deserved the promotion or not, to which Maldonado emphasized that her record was enough to stand by.
Kennedy, actually, I did not write the brief. The brief was written by...
You signed the brief, though, didn't you?
Correct. I signed the brief.
When you sign a brief, you're testifying to the court that everything in it is true, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That and I
So they're your words in terms of the court, right?
Well, you're correct, Senator Kennedy.
Okay.
I would never
Tell
sign...
me what you meant by assault weapons.
So I am not a gun expert, and at the time, that brief, I think, was about 10 years...
Giving the court advice about, say, ban assault weapons. What is... You told the court you were an expert. Just tell me what you wanted to ban.
Senator, sitting here today, as I said, I did not write that brief. I was local counsel.
Sign the brief.
I understand. At the time
Tell me what you wanted to ban. That's all I want to know, Judge.
I don't remember the exact definition of assault weapons in the ordinance that was at issue.
So you submitted a brief to an appellate brief. You signed it, and you don't know what and you said abolish assault weapons, and you don't know what you wanted them to abolish?
Senator, at the time that I signed the brief, I read the brief because our Supreme Court required an Illinois bar member to sign the brief. I was not responsible for researching the content.
You were responsible for the brief.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sitting here today, I do not remember the characteristics that were cited in the ordinance for the assault weapons ban. It's not an area of practice that I have specialized in. I'm sure if 10 years ago I could have answered your question.
And
but
Judge,
sitting here today,
you think
Senator,
you deserve to be promoted with this record?
Senator, I stand by my record. I stand by my record.
Senator Butler.